guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. All right, guys, it is Monday, July 29th, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, where have you been? Well, if you only knew. I have glass in my foot, and because I have been limping because of the glass in my foot, I put my back out. I have a very bad back. So by Sunday night, I was not moving. I was in so much pain, just, laying and rolling around going, ah. And so today I've spent most of the day, in the chiropractor, getting laser therapy, getting hydrotherapy, and I'm back on my feet again, but there's still glass in my feet. So the problem hasn't been solved, and tomorrow I've got to go to the hospital and get all the glass removed from my foot. Lucky me. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. No, I'm not. So anyway, and tonight we are going to be looking at the post from yesterday, the 28th, and Q's been posting today. So the first video is going to cover the 28th. The second video will cover the 29th. Now, tomorrow, if I am not all day at the hospital, because in Canada here, it's a trip going to the hospital. Really, you sit there for hours and hours and hours and hours, and then you sit there for a few more hours. So anyway, if I get home in time, which I'm hoping that I will, because I'm leaving early, I will do the Q, any Q posts and the Q related news, because we are getting very behind with that, and it's my fault. But there's a lot of stuff that's happening in and around all the stuff that's happening with Q that's important. So I do want to get to that at some point soon. All right. And I also want to thank you guys, my Patreon supporters, and those of you that buy me the odd coffee. It goes a long way to helping with the channel. And also, I realize that some of you are on a fixed income, and don't ever feel guilty. I've had so many emails and so forth. Oh, I can't contribute because I'm on a fixed income or I'm on disability and I feel bad. No, don't feel bad at all. Don't. Those that can will, and those that can't, that's fine. Don't ever feel guilty. And I mean that. I really mean that. It makes me feel really bad when people say that, because I don't want, everybody's welcome here. Everybody. So anyway, having said that, I'm looking at myself in the video there, and I'm thinking, I was going to say, well, I look like something the cat dragged in, but you know what? I don't even think I come up to that level. It's been a day. It's been 2 days. All right, let's get into Q. Enough about me, and let's talk about Q and what he has dropped in the last 2 days, starting with July the 28th, Sunday. And the first one we have here is a link to a Twitter status from the New York Times Politics. Now, and beneath it, Q says, "Drain the swamp" in capital letters, exclamation mark. Drain the swamp, Q. Now, this is the way I look at this. I used to go out to all these and read the article, but I am thinking that if it was the article that Q wanted us to read, he would just link to the article and not to the Twitter status. So I'm thinking that he wants us to see the headlines and so forth, but we know that the New York Times is a little biased. Okay, it's a lot biased, really biased. So anyway, but he does want us to see this headline. The Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats, is expected to step down. He has been at odds with President Trump throughout his tenure. Well, that's news to me that he's been at odds with President Trump, but it's not news to either me or probably any of you that he is stepping down, because we have been told that. And in fact, I think, if I am not mistaken, that Q told us a long time ago about Dan Coats, but maybe not, but certainly recently he said, "Fly, Dan, fly," and that he was on his way out, and here we go. So, and if this was just a a guy in a basement, doing a live action role playing game, how would he know this information? How is he always right with this information? There's way, way, way too many things that convince us that Q is on the inside. No question, absolutely no question. And those of us that have been following it for, well, gosh, it's over a year and a half, we know, because we've seen proof after proof after proof after proof after proof. And after a while, just like Q says, what are the odds? It's mathematically impossible that this person would always guess right. They're an insider. All right, let's go on now. And the next one is this, and Q links to the Washington Examiner, and beneath it, he says, while Congress is away, ... the month of August is traditionally a really hot month. Nature is unpredictable. Q. Well, that's true. The month of August is a traditionally really hot month, and but I'm not sure that he's talking, well, actually, I am sure that he's not talking about the heat of the month of August. He is saying that the month of August is going to be hot for some people because the heat is going to be on them. They're going to be held to the flame, so to speak. Nature is unpredictable. And so is the nature of what we're dealing with here with Q and the deep state. The nature of what we're dealing with is unpredictable. August is going to be a hot month. All right, let's link to the article here and see what we have. John Ratcliffe, AG William Barr will deliver justice to any Obama officials who committed crimes. Now, this is very good news for all of us, because I know if you're anything like me, you have been thinking, when is he going to be held responsible? Not only him, but Hillary Clinton, who was part of his, State Department, part of his administration. When's she going to be held responsible? Well, I don't think we're going to have to wait too terribly long, to tell you the truth. I know we've been hearing it for a long time, but I think it's here. Now, let me see. A top Republican investigator said accountability is coming for any of those individuals who may have committed crimes during the Trump-Russia investigation. With the Justice Department conducting a review of that operation, Representative John Ratcliffe said during a Fox News interview Sunday that he trusts Attorney General William Barr and Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz to provide answers. And while Ratcliffe said he does not want to prematurely accuse any specific person of a crime, as Democrats have done with President Trump, he stressed that it is clear crimes were committed by people during the Obama administration, including government officials. I think the first thing we need to do is make sure we don't do what the Democrats have done. The Texas Republican told host Maria Bartiromo on Sunday Morning Futures. They accused Donald Trump of a crime, and then they try. No, I wasn't even touching the keyboard. They accused Donald Trump of a crime, and then they try and reverse engineer a process to justify that accusation. So I'm not going to accuse any specific person of any specific crime. I just want there to be a fair process to get there. What I do know as a former federal prosecutor is that it does appear that there were crimes committed during the Obama administration. And of course, we all know that there were. Anyone that's been following Q all this time, we know very well what crimes were committed. Ratcliffe, a Texican Republican on the House Judiciary and Intelligence Committees who was critical of special counsel Robert Mueller during his testimony in front of those committees last Wednesday, is Trump's pick to replace outgoing Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats. Although many of the GOP lines of questioning last week focused on the origins of the investigation, Mueller largely shut them down, often saying these were issues that were outside my purview. Ratcliffe explains this is why Barr, who was tasked U.S. Attorney John Durham to lead the so-called investigation of the investigators, must fill in the gaps. Now, the things that Bob Mueller said he didn't know about and his team clearly didn't look at, those are things that would be fair for Bill Barr and the Department of Justice to look at, because we know that things happened in the Obama administration that haven't been answered. There's been no accountability for that yet, Ratcliffe said. Well, the special counsel told us that they didn't do it. And if they didn't do it, the only place we can get the answers is from the Justice Department right now. Ratcliffe said, the American people want that. Their faith and trust, Maria, has been shaken in our Justice Department. And the only way to get that back is for there to be a real accountability with a very fair process. Again, I have supreme confidence in Bill Barr's ability to deliver that. And at the end of the day, wherever wherever the outcome may be, as long as we know that the process was fair, the evaluation was fair, justice will be done. Look, the truth always defends itself. Isn't that true? Relevant to the Barr-Durham review is Horowitz' Inspector General investigation into alleged government surveillance abuses against at least one advisor for Trump campaign, Carter Page, an American citizen who was never charged with wrongdoing. Barr has said he is working closely with Horowitz, who is expected to wrap up his inquiry this fall, and the Justice Department could take prosecutorial action depending on the findings and recommendations. Ratcliffe recommended 3 leads for the investigation of the investigators. The first related to former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. You talked earlier about Michael Flynn. His phone call with the Russian ambassador was a highly classified NSA intercept. Someone in the Obama administration leaked that call to the Washington Post. That's a felony, he said. Then, Attorney General Jeff Sessions vowed in February 2018 that the Justice Department was investigating that leak and that he was overseeing the inquiry himself. I am directing it personally, and we're pursuing it aggressively, Sessions said at the time. Ratcliffe suggested investigators also look into conflicting congressional testimony between Fusion GPS co-founder Glenn Simpson and Justice Department official Bruce Orr. Fusion GPS was the opposition research firm behind British ex-spy Christopher Steele's dossier, which was full of unverified claims about Trump's ties to Russia and was used extensively by the FBI in Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act applications before the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court to justify surveillance of Page. Orr acted as an unofficial back channel between Steele and the FBI. Glenn Simpson from Fusion GPS, in talking about the Steele dossier, said under oath that he and Bruce Orr did not meet until after the election. Bruce Orr said under oath that they met 3 months before the election. One of them is not telling the truth. We need a process to identify that, Ratcliffe said. The third area of interest, Ratcliffe said, is former FBI Director James Comey's corn ready for to be cut. Oh, yeah. Anyway, was former FBI Director James Comey's memo on his interactions with Trump before he was fired in May 2017, where it all started. Jim Comey. He admitted that he leaked his confidential conversations with the president to a reporter. Did that include classified information? We need a fair process to find out the answers to that, Ratcliffe said. Comey said he leaked one of the memos to a friend to leak to the press in the hope that it might prompt the appointment of a special counsel. On May 16, 2017, the first Comey memo was reported for the first time. On May 17, 2017, then Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein appointed former FBI Director Robert Mueller to serve as special counsel. Corn! Ready for to be cut? I trust because Bill Barr has earned my trust already and the trust of the American people that there'll be a fair process with John Durham and with Michael Horowitz to get answers to that and provide accountability where it really belongs, Ratcliffe said. Sounds like he's just a crackerjack post. And I'm glad that he is Trump's, well, I'm a crackerjack pick, rather, because he is Trump's pick to replace Coates. And I would say, as usual, Trump has made a very good pick. All right, let's go back now because there's more to see. Going to be a hot month, August. That's my birthday month, too. I'm getting younger. I've decided my age isn't going to go up anymore. I'm going to start going down from here. All right. Now, here is the next post from July 28th, and it has a link to a website, which we're going to go out to presently. And beneath that link, Q says Baltimore received 1.8 billion, with a B, billion, 1.8 billion from Hussein's American Recovery and Investment Act. Follow the money. Follow the family. Q. Where did that money go? Have you seen the state of Baltimore? I had no idea it was like that. It's probably been 15 years since I was in Baltimore. And I've never lived there, but since I visited there. And I don't know, I found that very shocking to see all the pictures. So where did all that 1.8 billion? Do you know how far that could go if they were actually using it to help people and to clean up the city? Well, they obviously didn't. So where did it go? Who has it? What'd they do with it? Well, might have something to do with why Elijah Cummings is so well off. But I'm sure there's others, because there's six representatives in the House for Maryland, and there are 2 senators, I believe. So it's not just Elijah Cummings, but he's probably one of the worst. All right, let's go out and take a look. All right, now this says Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust, or FACT. The Honorable Brian E. Frosh, oh, that's a weird last name, in Canada, the university that I went to, it was my first university that I went to, is Queen's, and they call freshmen Frosh. So they have Frosh Week, and they have to do very bizarre things like lay on the pavement and sizzle like, bacon, really odd things. Harmless, but odd. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything except I saw the word frosh. And, my mind went there. Okay, so Maryland Attorney General, 200 St. Paul Place, Baltimore, Maryland, and Dear Attorney General Frosh, I respectfully request that the Maryland Attorney General's office investigate potential abuse and misuse of a Maryland nonprofit through its coordination with a Maryland corporation, the Nonprofit Center for Global Policy Solutions Center, through the for-profit Global Policy Solutions, LLC, GPS, appears to provide an improper financial benefit to Ms. Maya Rockymore Cummings. Oh, yeah, but that's the wife of Elijah Cummings. Yes, of course it is. Through the for-profit Global Policy Solutions, LLC, GPS appears to provide an improper financial benefit to Ms. Maya Rockymore Cummings and her husband, Representative Elijah Cummings, as part of your mission to protect citizens' donations to legitimate nonprofit organizations. This situation requires oversight and investigation. Excuse me, to ensure that these entities are operating in accordance with the law. Well, of course they're not. Excuse me. It wouldn't be a night unless I coughed. The only time I cough is when I'm doing this show. It's odd. I know, it's odd but true. All right, the center is a nonprofit organization with its most recent Form 990 filed for 2018 or 2017. In the 2017 filing, the address for the nonprofit is listed as 2221 St. Paul Street, Baltimore, Maryland 21218. The principal officer is listed as Ms. Rockymore Cummings. GPS is registered with the state of Maryland. Its principal place of business is located at 2221 St. Paul Street, Suite 1, Baltimore, Maryland 21218. The resident agent for the entity is Ms. Maya Rockymore Cummings, located at the same address. Additionally, Representative Cummings disclosed with the U.S. House of Representatives a financial interest in GPS, stating that Ms. Rockymore Cummings owns 100% of GPS, a for-profit company. The center and GPS bear a strikingly close resemblance. Ms. Rockymore Cummings serves the principal officer and is sole staff member listed on the center's website. Excuse me. All right. The center, okay. She is the sole owner and only staff member listed for GPS. The entities share the same phone number and the same address. Now, one's nonprofit, one's for-profit. So, gee, I don't know how they could get mixed up, seeing as they're at the same address. And, yeah. I had heard about the, that his wife was involved in some shady dealings, but I wasn't really aware of the nature of it. Additionally, there is a significant overlap in the projects and revenue of the two entities. In 2017, GPS was selected for a $1 million grant from the General Services Administration for the Leadership for Healthy Communities project, while the center served as a national program office for the same project. Further, the center and GPS have each received over $5 million from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. This close relationship alone is worthy of investigation. Moreover, since the center's inception in 2012, significant amounts of money have been exchanged directly between the nonprofit center and the for-profit GPS. The two independent audits have found that the center and GPS were related parties and had entered into cost-sharing agreements as early as 2013. Additionally, the center paid a management fee of 5% of the center's expenses to GPS. This management fee does not include an additional $152,238 and $78,180 in salary paid to Ms. Rockymore Cummings for her role in managing the center, according to the two most recent forms 990. So two entities, one nonprofit, one for-profit, and she draws a salary of $152,000 from one and $78,000 from the other, as well as probably sharing in the proceeds of both. Yeah. Well, now I know how they got to be so wealthy. It wasn't because of his representative job. No. Because of the significant shared projects, shared resources, and shared oversight between the Center for Global Policy Solutions and Global Policy Solutions, LLC, it is critical that your office investigate these entities doing business in Maryland. Ms. Rockymore Cummings' nonprofit has paid significant management fees to her own for-profit company, and she has been paid directly over $200,000. This potentially improper financial benefit to Ms. Maya Rockymore Cummings and her husband, Representative Elijah Cummings, is serious in nature. This is a unique situation that warrants necessary oversight to maintain public confidence in nonprofit donations. Therefore, we respectfully request that you review this financial arrangement to ensure full compliance with the law. Sincerely, Kendra Arnold, Executive Director, Founder for Accountability and Civic Trust. Well, well, well. Yeah, he really, really cares. You know, they're all out to call Trump racist because he calls out the situation, the living situation of many within Baltimore, and yet everyone calls him racist for that. Rats don't see color. Garbage doesn't see color. It's not a color situation. I'm sorry. I've never known rats to say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's a white house. Never mind. A white person lives there. I'm gonna go over here." I'm just saying. I don't think these people ever actually engage in thinking. Really. All right, let's go back. Oh, there's plenty more. Plenty more. Okay, so let's go on here. Yeah, and they received 1.8 billion from Hussein's American Recovery and Investment Act. Follow the money. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I know where it went. At least a good portion of it, and it certainly didn't go to fix up the city of Baltimore. I think the people that are living there could attest to that. All right, now let's go up to the next one, and we are still on July 28th, and here Q is making reference to the last post that we looked at, and he's adding another former post in which he said, imagine what would happen if, by law, every U.S. congressman, woman, U.S. senator, president, etc., was, by U.S. law, audited every 1 to 2 years by an independent agency. Imagine what would happen if those audits extended to all family members of such elected officials. Would Democrats continue to push for foreign aid to other countries versus the homeland? What happens when the kickbacks dry up? Maxine Waters, a $4 million house. Nancy Pelosi, net worth $150 million plus. Joe Biden, son, brother, net worth tens of millions. Clinton family, $200 million. Pre-election of Bill Clinton, less than $1 million. Obama family, $40 million. Pre-election, less than $1 million. Disguised under book deals? Absolutely. Those who take, I don't know if you can hear that, but it is one of my cats trying to climb into the china cabinet, and I think it is the little guy. All right, anyway, those who take are offered more powerful positions within the party. Controlled. Drain the swamp. Q. And then Q reiterates, those who take are offered more powerful positions within the party. And here he says Italy is with POTUS, and Italy is with POTUS. Q. Now, it seems a little bit odd that he's connecting the two, and I can't entirely say why he's connecting Italy with what we just discussed above. Not sure, but he does have more to say about Italy. Going forward, he has more to say. So, yeah, and they're offered more powerful positions, those that take, because then the other people that take know they can trust that person, and they allow them to come up higher because they know they're not going to tell on them because they will tell on him or her. That's the way it works. Now, let's go on. And Q says here, the swamp runs deep, and boy does it ever, because it's been draining for a while. DNC servers hold many answers, and don't you think for a minute they don't have that. They have it all. Okay, now the little guy went into my purse, found my keys, and dropped them on the floor. My purse is on the table from when I came in the door. And now he's chewing on them. Oh gosh, I do need a kitty intervention, but I'm not going to take the time to do it because we are behind and I need to keep moving forward here. So, DNC servers hold many answers. Scaramucci model. DNI, and that's the Director of National Intelligence, and NSA. A1, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. The Democrat Congress. House of Cards. You didn't think the plea deal was the end, did you? Q. Now, there's more to this than I'm able to discern right now, and I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time with it. And when I do find out more about this, I will come back and mention it in another broadcast. So, in part, I understand what it means. I mean, the DN servers hold many answers, and they've got it because they've got it all. Scaramucci model, we've talked about that numerous times with Q. Director of National Intelligence and NSA. A1, the A1, that whole thing, it really still has to, be brought to light. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Democratic Congress, House of Cards. You didn't think the plea deal was the end, did you? Q. All right, now we're going to go on to the next one. And the next one brings us to July 29th. So we're going to end this video here. And while this is uploading, I'm going to go on with today's post so that we will be completely up to date. So let me just end this here. And I hope that you'll join me for today's posts because there's always interesting things with Q. So you guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and keep seeking truth. And come back and join me, because I get lonely by myself here, just talking away to nobody. So please come back and join me. Grab a cup of coffee or tea or something. Sit down, put your feet up, and listen for a while. Okay, talk to you soon. Good night.